What do you think about that, monkey? Huh? What do you think about that? Yeah? Are you a little butt dog? Are you a butt dog? Aw. Okay. There it is. Hello. Welcome, everyone. It's Friday. It's Houston with a problem. We got a little excitement building around GameStop for the week. Earnings are on Tuesday. We've got Sultan Omar Alhammouri, who is Fortune 500 rich. All of a sudden, just tweeting tons of stuff about Ryan Cohen and GameStop and rockets and digital tokens and who knows? Like, seems to be another big whale jumping in on this thing. I bought my options. I ended up getting 25s this morning, and they're already in the money. After hours, it got to 25.50 at one point after hours. Oh no, that's not. I want. So it's sitting at 25.18, 25.20 after hours. So we're good. We're good. I guess it closed just under 25 and then shot over 25 after hours. Nice. That's what we want out of this thing. Let's see if we get some climbs up until Tuesday, until earnings. Depending on where it goes and what implied volatility is, I might do a sale and reset. I'm debating if I'm going to just split it again, if I'm going to do calls and puts, depending on what option earnings are. I'm pretty confident with current forecasts they're going to beat earnings. Just looking at, they got $4.5 billion basically in bonds that they own. And those things are pulling in about 5%, which is about $220 million a year minimum. So that means they've done about 190 million since they probably bought those bonds that to add on top of everything. So that comes out to a little more than 30 cents a share, like 40 cents a share. I think they're forecast at like 15 cents. So they have a chance to really whoop on earnings. And if that's the case, they could have a zoom Tuesday after hours when the report drops. And am I going to gamble on that? I guess we'll see what I feel like on Tuesday, huh? So, that's the good news. The bad news is pretty much everything else going on. The administrator for the Social Security Agency says that he's probably going to shut down the entire administration because he has had no clear guidance from anybody. I mean, it seems like a very weird response. Be like, well, no one's telling what to do, so I'm just going to shut it down. Yeah, and then immediately impoverish like 75 million Americans and doom every other generation after that. That seems like a really strange way to respond. But, Trump shot out a message on his Truth Social network saying that he's going to deport anybody who vandalizes a Tesla. Meaning, if you're a citizen, you're going to end up in some El Salvador prison being beaten by a junta. So, that's cool. Eurostat apparently can now cover all of Ukraine, and then Ukraine can get rid of their Starlink satellites. So they're ready to go. That's kind of good news. Poland is now amassing landmines along their border with Belarus, which, to stave off any potential invasion. One of the problems is that Russia is taking migrants from Africa and the Middle East, sending them to Belarus, and then pushing them across the border. So we may see some human tragedy there as folks look to get to Europe for freedom, blow up in a minefield set up by Poland to keep Russia from invading. So that's a bummer. What are things I have to add, monkey? Hey, you guys will come up with it in the chat there. You normally do. So let's spam. Okay, that's that. Turn it off, ding dong. Okay, J Bear first. Nice. Kelly Reed second. Nice. Kelly Reed. Happy birthday, SW. Conor McGregor is rumored to be running for president of Ireland. Like, I believe COVID killed us and now we're all in purgatory. Well, the good news about Conor McGregor running for president of Ireland is he's going to discover how much the people of Ireland have fallen out of love with him. 15 years ago, he was the darling of Ireland. He was a working class lad who showed what perseverance and overcoming is all about. And he got into power and he won everything. And then he turned out to be a rapey, horrible monster who is a shitty landlord. And all he cares about is money and power. And the people of Ireland really don't like him anymore. In Dublin, he bought like blocks of buildings in Dublin where, you know, the buildings are hundreds of years old. There were tenants, like a barber shop that had been there for 150 years, and he jacked up the rent, and the people had to leave. And the Irish were like, "Fuck you, Connor." So he's not well loved. Plus his ties to Donald Trump really pisses him off. So I say go for it, Connor. Go for it. Get 15% of the vote, and then disappear forever. You little leprechaun. So yeah, Chris Range was third. You were. Kelly Reed again. Freddie Mac CEO and team got fired today. Buckle up. 2008 on steroids inbound. Yeah. Oh, one of the other things they said is that all your student loans, which are normally in the Department of Education, are now going to be administered by the Small Business Administration. So that should be a mess. Like they facilitate loans and do things like that. Oh, hey, Cat, what's up? How you doing? Fluffy tail. Squish, 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 squish. Yes, you're here to distract me, aren't you? So that should be a mess, and we'll see where it goes from here, right? But seriously, if the last person leaving the Department of Education, just hit the delete button on every student loan and just walk out of the room facing the CCTV cameras like this. So make everybody happy, right? Might as well do something. Yeah. Oh, I just want to scratch your little skull until it just explodes. Nathan Scott, hey Houston, how high can GME go? Sorry, joked about this on last stream. Really though, did you purchase options? Options purchase go today. I got busy at work and never had a chance to buy. Boo. Oh, bummer. I didn't buy right at open because it was like touching 24. And I was like, I think it's going to drop down a little bit. So I set a low price at $1 for the 25s and got myself a nice round number. And yeah, we seemed cool. So it went smooth. It dropped just enough, and then the price started climbing shortly after that. And I'm stoked. How about you, little dork? Are you stoked? You happy little weirdo? Happy little weirdo. You little mouth breather. Look at your mouth just sticks open all the time. You just can't help it. Jason Blackwell. Oh, Jason Blackwell. Hey, Houston. I have a brilliant business model. Buy a car company, then be complicit in firing tens of thousands of people. Then ask the people you fired to buy your car from you. Genius. Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I need to worry about... Oh, God damn it. I forget that this cat is in shedding season, and now my water is ruined. Man. I guess I'm drinking water for the rest of the show. Chupa Batman's a forest cat. He doesn't shed that much, so I don't have to worry about that. And the monkey butt is not really a shedder. Look at this little monkey butthole right there. Look at that butthole. Yeah, and then there's this fluff ball who's now just molting all over the house. And my water is covered in cat hair. Oh well. 51 minutes. I can go 51 minutes without a sip, I think. It's a brilliant gambit. Like, it keeps going on like Fox News and stuff, being like, when you're uncovering fraud, I don't understand why people are so upset. Dude, you haven't uncovered a single instance of fraud, you fucking liar. Elon, when you uncover fraud, we'll know, because, actual accountants and overseers will be like, oh, wow, way to go. Instead, they're like, this is a contract that was completed in 2005 under the Bush administration. You haven't found shit, you fucking moron. That's basically what it's coming down to. So Elon, all you're doing is firing people. All you're doing is vaporizing the economy. and making it so people fucking hate your guts. If you're so concerned about what people think about you, why don't you do things people like? Why don't you try that for a change? Why don't you, like, I don't know, help someone for once? Duh. I mean, like, the one time you actually tried to help people was when you designed the protection pod for those Boy Scouts in Thailand who were trapped in the caves. And then the cave master, guy who was like a professional spelunker and rescuer, was like, hey, thank you, but your device won't work because it needs to bend and get around turns and things, because the caves are not like one straight tube like a boring tunnel. They're crags and nooks and crannies, so a human body has to like bend over obstacles. If you have them in a solid tube, it ain't gonna happen. And Elon's like, pedophile. So like, dude, figure out how to take some constructive criticism for once, you moron. Just, oh my gosh. Can someone just keep emailing my YouTubes to Elon so that he just sees how much we hate him and why? You fucking fascist dick. Okay. Since 54, Chuck Schumer sold us out so his brother didn't lose money. His brother is a partner at Allen Weiss, the firm that just capitulated Trump. Were sold out 100%. Way to lean into stereotypes, Chuck. It's true. His brother is a partner at Allen Weiss. Paul Weiss. Paul Weiss? Is it Paul Weiss, not Allen Weiss? Allen Weiss, I think, was one of the lawyers there, but Paul Weiss, I think, is the firm. Yeah, for a $40 million contract with the U.S. government. Just sold out. Chuck should probably like announce these things before he caves. Be like, hey, conflict of interest here. I'm caving specifically to help my brother out with his bottom line. Sorry to be an absolute pushover, yellow belly weakling, but here we are. All right. Legacy 10 Productions, Houston. Thoughts on mind-blowing structures that go 2 kilometers deep under the pyramids of Giza? What doing? Yeah. I've been sent a couple of videos. Seems very strange indeed. I honestly don't know if things go 2 kilometers deep, or if perhaps in the sands of the desert they found some actual bedrock and they put their structure on top of that bedrock, and that bedrock happens to be like a Pluton that goes down that far in the sands. Which makes a little more sense to me, because I don't imagine people of Egypt being able to dig a hole 2 kilometers deep to build something out, nor like moving that much rock hundreds of miles, much red granite hundreds of miles to build the pyramids is a feat of itself. But then filling a 2 kilometer deep hole with that is impossible. So I don't doubt that they see what they see in the radar images of like what looks like a solid structure. I have no doubt they went down the 80 meters, right, to build a foundation. That's plausible. That's still a long ways. It's still over 200 feet down, which is a big hole. But I don't see them doing anything that's over a mile deep into the earth. That's just like the amount of engineering that takes, and removal of overburden. Like, where's overburden? If they went that deep, there should be a slag pile the size of a mountain next to it, and you don't see that. So my guess is that the pyramids are built where they are because there's a granite Pluton that comes up that makes a good foundation base for that. Build on a rock, baby. Bex, Houston, my friend. Never date a tennis player. Love means nothing to them. Good one. Alexander K. Hi, brother Houston. Do you think the regulators will be forced to do something about the giant short positions on MMTLP now that we have proof, or will they sweep it under the rug? They're going to try to sweep it under the rug. It was announced today that a huge portion of the SEC is being forced out and leaving It means enforcers, lawyers, investigators, etc., are just being pushed out of the SEC. I tried to explain this before the election. This is exactly what Trump did the last time around, is that he gutted the SEC and stopped enforcement of things. And he likes crime and fraud. So he's going to embrace the crime and fraud side because that's always something he can hold over everyone. If you're committing crimes and he's letting you get away with them, he owns you. He's a mafia boss. And that's how it works. So they're not going to do enforcement. Why would you do enforcement? That's one less person who can pay patronage to you. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to do shit about MMTLP unless the courts do something or there's some sort of thing in the market that makes it so that everyone loses all their money. Anson Funds is one short hedge fund who owes 10 million shares. And they were trying to buy those shares directly from the company for 30 cents each. So basically, they're like, let us still win our position and not have to face the consequences of it. So I guess with the SEC getting gutted, it gives MMTLP a good chance to get an S1 approved without having to redo those 10Ks all over again. And if that's the case, they can take their NewCo, put it on something like T0, and then blow up the shorts. So that's probably the best method at this point. Treetop. Market might poop on Monday now that witching is over. Oh, there was a huge rejiggering of Credit Suisse positions by UBS today. And a lot of buying and selling went on just from UBS bags alone. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out over the weekend. And Brandon Wells, sup, BBBY, no labs. BBBY has now taken their attention to 6th Street for some reason, who is their dip financer. I don't know exact reason behind it, but I just saw it just before I came on the show. No labs. The last update I had from them was the fact that they use their non-invasive monitor to measure pH of people's blood, which is fantastic. Shows that they can move through the medical device market and cover all sorts of things. Doesn't hate. Happy birthday. First live in a bit. I hope the Destroyer's chemo is going well and mobility is improving. How do diamonds get color? What is the rarest color? Check Atlantis if you have a second. Okay. Well, she's doing well. Yes, you cover your butthole. Look at you. She's doing all right. I think she was tuckered yesterday from that car ride, just like being on 3 legs and going on windy roads, and it just tired her out. She was pretty like, I couldn't tell if it was from, chemo or not, but she seems all right. Are you all right, Monkey? Are you cool? You ran the stairs just fine. Yes, you did. You ran the stairs just fine. Oh, I got your skull. Yeah, she's doing all right. How diamonds get their diamonds get their color due to impurities. So, like a blue diamond, the impurity is boron. And the cool thing about boron diamonds is that they are conductive. There is work that's been done that shows that you can use blue diamonds as semiconductors. So you can actually make a computer chip out of blue diamonds. You can just make them in a lab, and you won't need cooling because they're thermally stable to like 6,000 degrees. So you can just make computer chips out of blue diamonds that won't need fans or anything. So they have huge processing potential. You can run a ton of energy through them, and you don't need to waste energy on cooling them. So you can have entire like server farms just cooking away, and the diamond circuits do not care. Now, the rarest colored diamond are red diamonds. You can make red diamonds by irradiating them, so you can blast them with radiation and change their color. Generally, you take like a brownish diamond and you blast it with color with radiation, and you can turn it red. You can do that. A natural red diamond, maybe 5 a year get dug up. 10. So most of those come from the Argyle mine in Australia. The Argyle mine is a gigantic mine in sort of north central Australia. Let's see if we can pull it up on the map here. It's a pretty huge mine. There's my Google Earth. Bam. 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 Okay. Argyle. Oops. Argyle mine. Australia. Argyle diamond mine. There we go. Boom. Boom. Slap. Nope, that is not the Argyle mine. That is, you are a liar. That is not the Argyle mine. That is Perth. Argyle mine. Argyle Lake. Maybe it's that one. There we go. That's more like it. That's going to the region we want. Slap. Okay. So this mine right here, and you can kind of, if I zoom out, you can kind of see where it is. Like north central Australia, still in Western Australia, but up towards the top there. This produces 35 million carats in diamonds a year, and most of those are industrial grade diamonds. But the Australians did a really brilliant thing a few years ago, about 20 years ago, when they started marketing these brown diamonds that we normally use for like saw blades and drill bits and sell for pennies on the dollar, or for pennies in general. And they started marketing them as chocolate diamonds, burgundy diamonds, champagne diamonds. These are shit diamonds that no one wanted. They're gross, they're too common, whatever. And they started marketing them as these like fancy names. Oh, a chocolate diamond. And they would pay Hollywood starlets to like go on the red carpet wearing brown diamond necklaces, brown diamond rings, brown diamond earrings, the stuff that was like, ew, gross, just years before. And then they started selling them for way too much money. These things that would sell for a drill bit for 20 cents, right? All of a sudden they're selling for $4,000 a carat. And because Scarlett Johansson and Charlize Theron and Madonna or whatever were showing up to award ceremonies wearing these chocolate, burgundy, and champagne diamonds, all of a sudden this huge market exploded for them. Everyone's like, oh, I want a chocolate diamond. And Argyle Mine started making a fortune off of this stuff. Now, among what they dig, where these brown diamonds come from, is pink and red diamonds come out of it. So the iron impurities in crappy diamonds also makes for perfect pink and red diamonds. And they do an auction once a year of every red and pink diamond they pull out of there. I think the largest one they pulled out was a 5-carat red diamond that sold for something like $50 million a carat or something ridiculous. Absolutely. It's like the most valuable rock that's ever existed. It's the largest red diamond. It is pure, like no imperfections in it, and probably bought by some Saudi billionaire or something. But this is where most of the color diamonds in the red and brown range and pink range come from. In Africa, if we go and it's a lamprite deposit as well. It's the same type of deposit as you find in Crater of Diamonds in Arkansas. But if we go to like South Africa, in Botswana, and Angola, and the diamond region through here, it's a bunch of kimberlite pipes, you get other colors. You can get yellows, some every once in a while something reddish, pinkish, mostly yellow, blue, green. Those three major colors. Canary diamonds often come from this area. And canary diamonds, if you got something of significant size, you're looking at $200,000 to $1 million a carat just for canary diamonds. Blue diamonds, similar price ranges for those. Greens are actually even more rare than blue or yellow, but people just like yellow and blue more for some reason. So the marketing isn't quite there for green diamonds. But the impurities come from things like manganese, boron, vanadium, stuff like that. So if there happens to be a little impurity in there and it's fairly even throughout the matrix of the diamond, then you're going to get like a solid bright color out of it. Now, if you get uneven impurities, that's when you get your kind of like brown, muddled, even black diamonds. Like there are black diamonds that are so impure with carbon that they're just a shiny black rock. Still hard like a diamond, but there's so much carbon inside of them. And there's a market for black diamonds. You can still, cut those and sell them for a decent amount of money. Not as much as like a clear diamond would be. But so that's kind of where the impurities come from. And if you hear the term like, oh, that's fancy, like literally the word fancy originates from the color guide for diamonds. Fancy colors. So you got your gem grade diamonds, which are go from, you know, they have alphabets like G through Z or something, goes from like super clear to somewhat kind of impure to kind of a champagne colored, and then you have your fancy colors after that, which, you know, yellow, blue, red, green, pink, and those are fancy. So the fancy grading comes from that. So when someone's like, "Oh, that's fancy," it really harkens back to what color grade is that diamond? Is it a fancy diamond? Is it a yellow diamond? Then it's fancy. So there you go. There's a little history lesson there. But yeah, that's, you know, we got diamonds all over the place. So we've got huge chunk of diamonds in this area, some diamonds up in the Congo. Go across to Minas Gerais, which is here. You have diamonds and all sorts of other crazy. Like, this is probably the gemstone capital of Earth, is Minas Gerais. You got diamonds, rhodonite, tourmalines, emeralds, like all sorts of crap comes out of here. And it's, you know, it's Minas because it's where the mines are. And then you have diamonds all over sort of the Central Rockies in this area. You got diamonds in Arkansas, Crater of Diamonds, which is the lamperite deposit. You've got diamonds up in Northwest Territories. You got diamonds out in the middle of the flood basalts in India. You got diamonds. You've got boatloads of diamonds out in Siberia. Siberia diamonds, I believe, are out here, like west of Baikal. There's a lot of regions. There's probably a lot of regions we haven't even looked at for diamonds that probably exist elsewhere. It's just that, you know, people don't know to look for them. Like, people don't know to look for diamonds in the Rockies, and there's just as many diamond like kimberlite pipes here in the Rockies as there are in South Africa, which is a huge, you know, it's where De Beers and Kimberley is. But people just don't go for them, and you can't get any like money from the government to help mine them. And, you know, diamonds in general, their prices are kind of collapsing as two things happen. You have one, people can't afford diamonds. People aren't getting married. They can't afford marriage, so they just aren't proposing, and so the market for diamonds is dropping as a result of people being priced out of like having a life together and having kids and doing stuff like that. And number two, the cost of lab-made diamonds is dropping so significantly, and you get something that's spectacular and really has so much refraction and so much colors bouncing off of it that, you know, to get an equivalent diamond that's mined from the earth would cost you millions of dollars. So you can go to Costco, get yourself a 2-carat lab-made diamond for a fraction of the cost. It looks really impressive. Everyone goes, "Oh, wow, look at that diamond." And so people do that. One of the things, when I was trying to make my mining show, I was trying to market to the gem cartels. You'd be like, "Hey, sponsor my show, and we'll get marketing of colored gemstones and fancy gemstones into the homes of every single person on Earth, and they'll love them again." They're like, "That's money." Like, whatever. So those are your reality of the diamond market right now, and we're going into another financial collapse. So, I guess another thing that's affecting diamond prices is that people can now launder money using crypto so easily. The gem market used to be a fantastic way to launder money. You know, I've used this example before. Let's say you are a triad kingpin in Los Angeles, right? You're in Los Angeles. You're making millions of dollars for your overlords in Hong Kong, and you have to get those millions of dollars to Hong Kong. So in the past, you would take a bedazzler and you would bedazzle the jeans of a toddler. You'd put some jewelry on your wife, right? You'd go to Christie's auction house and just buy a bunch of really fancy gems, and then you put them on an airplane. And no one thinks that the bedazzled jeans of a 2-year-old are actually several $1,000,000 in gem quality diamonds. And so you fly from Los Angeles all the way out to Hong Kong. You end up in Hong Kong out here, and you go to Hong Kong, and you go to the Sotheby's auction house in Hong Kong, and you hawk all these diamonds, and you get all your money back. And now you just laundered tens of millions of dollars across the ocean and for everybody. And then there's, I don't know, some business deal that has to get done in Hong Kong. So somebody buys those gemstones at Sotheby's auction house, and then they go to the UAE. They bedazzle their girlfriend or whatever, and they go to the UAE and they go to Dubai, and they sell it at the Bonham's auction house in Dubai. Dubai. And then they go from Dubai, and someone else buys them. Some drug runner who works in, I don't know, UK now, goes to UK, takes all those gems, bedazzles his mother and his girlfriend and everything, and they go to the Christie's auction house in London, and they sell them there. And they just, moved a bunch of gemstones. And then some Italian gangster in London needs to get money to New York, and they do the same thing. And so there was a huge amount of the gem trade was laundering money across international borders to avoid taxes and scrutiny and everything else. And that's how you do it. But now you can just like pull your money into Monero and just go boop, pop, boop, 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 and just send it somewhere, and no one knows who got it or where it went. So some of the prices in fine jewelry is actually coming down as a result of crypto replacing the money laundering operations out of these fine auction houses. So a friend of mine used to be the head of Christie's in London until a couple years ago. He retired, and boy, could he tell you some stories. Goodness, some of the shady characters who bought and sold gemstones out of that place. So yeah, there you go. There's your update on diamonds. Or was that one? That was from Dustin. Okay. Gary DeVecchio. Democrats need to start running for Congress in 2026 now. Any rep senator who agrees to touch Social Security will be kicked out. Yeah. That seems like a very logical, file. Start primarying them now. Even if you start primarying them now, you may actually affect their decision making, and they may go, "Oh, I've got to vote to keep Social Security." So yeah, that should every county party in this nation should be putting someone forward right now to primary anyone who's suspected of being willing to let Social Security get vaporized. This country will not last without Social Security. It won't. It just won't. So, Alex Bishop, power doesn't corrupt. It reveals who you always were. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have sort of like a megalomania inside of them that plays around, and they like, if I could do anything I wanted, what would I do? And a lot of those people turns out be a creepy monster. So, oops. Anyway. Don't support those folks if you find them. That's, yeah. Gary DeVecchio, also, Robinhood's predictions market are cool. They are available for March Madness. What do you think? I got lots of emails from them about March Madness. I didn't do anything with it. I didn't look into it at all. I just I already part of one March Madness pool. I'll need to do others. And for me, March Madness is such a crapshoot. I always pick one 5-12 upset for the first round, and every year there's a 5-12 upset, and every year it's not the one I pick. So I think it was Crichton was the winner of the 5-12 upset this year, or the loser of 5-12 upset. One way or the other, but it was not who I picked. So I'm now total middle of the road in all the pools as a result of that one alone. Brandon Wells, just drink it, dude. No, that's Cat Hair Central. I'm not drinking that. Sis54 Elmo now getting a brief on war with China. There's a pic of him walking in the Pentagon. I'm sure those plans won't leak. Oh yeah, it's a fantastic thing that Elon, the billions and billions and billions of dollars of Elon's revenue stream depend upon the Chinese market and where his factories are. And he's already shown that he will cave to whatever Xi wants him to do. It's just great. It's just great, right? Right, Monkey? Isn't it fantastic that we have got Elon Musk receiving security briefings about war plans with China, and then in those war plans with China are things that he can pass along to his Chinese overlords to ensure that he still has a large market? Isn't that wonderful? And that's something we should all just be like, yay about, right? So, yeah. Also, news coming out of China that the Xi might be at a small war with the Chinese military. That he's like fired and imprisoned too many leaders of the Chinese military, and people are pissed, and now they're like fighting back. So there's could be some headbutting as to who's going to lead China here as a result of that. So that should be interesting. Off the Grid Hero, 10 million shares of MTLP, maybe lawsuit payout? Yeah. Someone posted on Twitter about the Anson funds needing 10 million shares, and someone being like, oh, $4,290 a share or whatever. And then be like, well, they don't have $42 billion to pay for that. They do. They do have $42 billion to pay for that. It's called the chain of liability. So whoever Anson Fund's primary broker is, who let them naked short 10 million shares of a company, when Anson Fund goes under, that liability transfers to their primary broker. I'm not sure the primary broker is, but it's probably someone like, Schwab, Citibank, Chase, Manhattan, Goldman Sachs, someone like that, and they do have $42 billion. So, yeah. It's that simple. So, yeah. Lawsuit might work on MTLP if you can get them to do it. MMAT did enough subpoenaing of shitbirds that you might get a lot of information about MMTLP as a result of that. Okay, where are we on the list? Don't see shit him. Elon will start talking about universal basic income again, how he supports that. He'll seduce people with that, and it'll all be BS, but Americans are easily duped. Americans are so easily duped. It's true. They'll be like, oh, pie in the sky, yay! Which is really strange for how anti-communist Americans are. They really do love getting free money. Communism's bad. Pay me. Tom Savage. I have a cousin that got her dream job in Hawaii as a nurse practitioner for the VA. Now she has to fill out that stupid email that wants to know what she just done for the week every week. I mean, just for the email, just send her schedule. It's so stupid. Monkey, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb, Monkey. It's dumb and stupid. Yes. She's staring at the tree. You know what? We'll just treat her. Why not? Why not, Monkey Butt? We'll give you what you want, which is something like an ear. Look at that big one. That's a big one right there, isn't it? Yeah, put it in your face. Happy dog. Happy dog. Okay. Don't see shade and Bigfoot built the pyramids. Hopeful, Pomelo, 4488, Piccolo, Poop Crystals. Yes. Evan Green. About calls today. I'm usually an options seller. Did so to hedge my covered calls. Sold the hedge for a profit at end of day. Why be a DJ and gambler when you can be a DJ and investor who sells calls and puts? You can be that too. You can do it all, man. You can do it all. Sad Boy Corporate, I'm back. Welcome back. Boris Raspy. Houston. Thoughts on MOAS and hedging afterwards. Also, do you really see GME at $10,000 a share? GME can't go to $10,000 a share until Ryan Cohen lets it go to $10,000 a share. They've had multiple opportunities to blow up the entire market, and every time except one, Ryan Cohen has sort of stepped in and been like, no. So, the one time Ryan didn't step in and go, no, was when Citadel stepped in and went, no. So, it'll come down to Ryan Cohen. If Ryan Cohen wants to actually destroy the short sellers, then Ryan Cohen is going to have to let an options run go. He's gonna have to when the gamma ramping is huge on a Friday, he needs to just let it happen. Just let it explode and not dump into the market, collapsing an absolute like rocket ship. So, will he do that? I'm leaning towards no. He's got too many billionaire buddies now, and he has a little country club circle, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, Ryan, you like being a billionaire? You like being alive? We're just going to make sure that you stay a billionaire and then never let GameStop run. Is that cool? And he's like, "You okay, Daddy?" That's my feeling at the moment, is that he's not actually one to blow everything up. Now he's got a big billionaire Sultan behind him now, so maybe having a whale on his side might shift the balance, and he'll let an options run explode on a Friday. But it might be, if we don't have any significant expirations of swaps in May and June, it might be a couple of years until it happens again. So, sigh. Erosion minus Tirith? Johnny Lochner. Yesterday, you said you were going to buy GME calls today. Congrats on those. You nailed it. Thank you. Doesn't Height. Thanks for the grand response. You're welcome. Oh, my goodness. Throw some more comments in there. We got 20 minutes left, and I'm about to get the end here. Moik, or Moike, or Moiki. I lost 100 GME shares this week trying to scalp my shares. I still have 1,950 shares. Yeah, it's, you gotta pick and choose those suckers. I don't do anything with my shares. I just leave them. They sit there. I do not touch them. I do not do anything with them. If there's a MOAS, those suckers will retire me just fine. What I do now is I try to play my options, because at some point I'm going to get like 3 or 4 trades in a row and it'll be like I'm done. And that's kind of what. Then we'll give a shit about those couple thousand shares of GME I have. Whatever, who cares? That's basically what I feel like. I got enough money, I can go buy a ski chalet or something. Mike says I need to learn to leave my shares alone. That happens. Go to Vecchio, Houston. Can we also fix Social Security by pulling the cap? And if you need more money, raise the N rate by 0.25%. Done. Yeah, we can totally save Social Security. You make people who earn over $120,000 a year pay into Social Security, and you make people who in retirement receive more than, say, $100,000 a year not receive Social Security. Simple as that. And then Social Security lasts forever as a result. But I think the cap is $120,000 a year for paying in. So if you make more than $120,000 a year, you don't pay into Social Security. So if you're a baseball player making $50 million a year, you pay Social Security on the first $120,000, and the next $49.9 million does not pay into Social Security at all, or Medicare or anything else. And then when you retire, and you have an investment portfolio that's pulling down, $25 to $100 million a year as a result, you can still receive, your $2,000 a month Social Security. Just make rich people pay in and don't let them get it back. Simple as that. They already have enough money, they're fine. So there's lots of things we can do to save Social Security. We just never do those things because rich people refuse to pay taxes. Like Bezos, Musk, and Zuckerberg have collectively lost something like $250 billion since January. If the 3 richest guys in America can collectively lose $250-300 billion, they can afford to pay taxes because they still have their yachts, they still have their mansions, they still have their companies. They're just fine. So they could afford $250 billion in taxes, right? Seems like a no-brainer to me. That's more than enough to pull every single solitary American out of poverty. Like if we had an extra $175 billion, just $175 billion cash that went out to the poorest Americans, there would be no more poor Americans. It's that simple. So there's, why do we let people starve and die on the streets and die because they don't have medical coverage when all we have to do is inconvenience a billionaire just by that much, so they have one less yacht or something, or one less mistress that they shower with presents. That's all we have to do, and then boom, society is fixed. But we don't do that. Instead, we're like, ooh, the billionaire doesn't want to give up any money, so we're going to make sure several 100,000 government workers no longer have jobs. Simple as that. Because we need to pay for $4.5 trillion in tax cuts and, trickle down, blah, 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 right? Avante Green, the prolonged MOAS is why I think the covered calls and CSP plays are the way. Yeah. I mean, sell covered calls on weeks when volatility is not going to be on the upside, probably. Yeah. Doesn't Eye of Africa? No. Any news on BBBY? Nothing big, just that they are now doing something where they're pushing back against 6th Street for something. I only saw it right before I came on the show, so wasn't able to dive into that. Dan B, did you get that room clean? Monkey needs a treat. She just got a treat, so we're good on that. The room is sort of cleaned. I keep shampooing the carpet and it keeps being gross. I prepped the walls for painting, so I'm gonna try and paint it. Maybe I can get painting done this weekend. It might be the following weekend. The problem is there's these 1x1 ceiling tiles that I think are stained with like gross cigarette smoke, and I might if I can get a sprayer, I might be able to spray the paint over them and cover them up. I'm afraid to tackle them because they might be asbestos tiles, and I don't want to die from mesothelioma, and I don't want to pay somebody a bunch of money to take out those tiles. So I may just paint spray them and hope that kind of masks any grossness that went into them. Yeah. I'd love to just take them out and just put drywall, but I don't want to deal with asbestos. If you ever see how asbestos works, it is terrifying. So asbestos itself, serpentinite, is the way the crystal grows is that as it grows, it has one side that has like one less chain than the other, so it starts to curl, and it curls and makes these really tight spirals. And so what happens is that micro bits of it, if you breathe them in, sort of hook like barbs into your lung, and they will coat all of your bronchi and just hug them. And basically, it starts cutting off your ability to breathe. It causes irritations, which can cause cancers and all sorts of horrible stuff. So you just don't want to deal with asbestos unless you got people like in spacesuits, taking care of all of it. It's a very, very, very horrible thing. So I don't want a chance breaking one of those suckers. Even if I have respirators, I don't trust at all that I would deal with that. So I'm just going to spray it and hope that works. And then the room can just smell like paint. And any smell that comes after that, is that. Karen Mirza, Elon Musk, in my opinion, is autistic, special needs in real life. Yeah, I think one problem with Elon is his mom. His mama. His mama is one of those, you're my special boy, you can do no wrong. And every time a mom is like that, like if you're a lady in here, or even a dad, don't be that mom or dad. Your kid's a kid. Sometimes they do things that are special and good. Praise them for that. But when they fuck up, you tell them. Right? Elon fucks up and his mom's like, what a special boy. You're so good. Here's a cookie. And he's like, thank you, mama. I'm the best ever. I can do no wrong. And then he carries that mentality through life. And so he has this like sociopathic tendency where if he thinks of something, it's automatically the best thing in the world because he's such a special boy that he can do no wrong. And that's kind of his like an easy deep dive into his psyche. Is he's just such a special boy. Whereas like you go to the Donald Trump side, Donald Trump is such a piece of shit because his dad was a piece of shit and his mom was a piece of shit and they treat everyone like a piece of shit. And he's like, that's how you get ahead in life. And so like you get sort of like two cluster B outcomes from different things. And like I guess Elon's dad's kind of a piece of shit. So maybe Elon has got half Trump, half special little boy into one monster of fascism. But yeah, your upbringing does a lot to your subconscious, your psyche, and how you turn out. Like there's nature versus nurture, and there's a lot of nurture going on in how Elon behaves. And a lot of it is definitely his mommy being like, "You're a special little boy. You're the best little buddy in the entire world. You're so smart and gifted." And he fully believes it, because why would his mother lie to him, right? She was raised by white supremacist Nazis, so obviously she made her little white boy, and he can do no wrong because he's a perfect little white Ubermensch. And that's exactly what you need in life, right? It's just more of those. So that's why Elon has all these IVF sons everywhere, to make his little army of neck protectors. Because when little X gets too big to put on the shoulders, he's got another one waiting in the wings to put that kid on his shoulders. He's just going to have different children on his shoulders for the rest of his life, because he's get to a point where he's not going to be able to carry a 4-year-old. So it's going to be just a whole army of 2-year-olds. He's going to keep just impregnating women via IVF forever until he dies. Because you see all the movies, the assassins are like, "No women, no children." And so Elon's got them over his shoulders, and he's like, "Hey, if you shoot me in the head, you kill this kid." And assassins are like, "Ah, nuts, fiddlesticks." He found a loophole, and that's where we are. Vecchio, $170,000 cap, $176,000 cap, 2025. Okay, so it's $176,000. Thank you. I knew it was somewhere around there. But if you're making $50 million a year, like, who cares what the cap's $200,000, whatever. No rain on my parade. 654 MMTLP may never resolve. I'm only in 201, so it's too little. I think McCabe has to bite the bullet, spend $5 million, go hang out with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, and put it on his radar. That's probably what he has to do, because this is a corrupt administration. You're going to have to feed into that corruption. I think that's where we are. So do that, and maybe the SEC will go your way finally. Avocados, seafood gumbo for dinner tonight. Nice. Sigh, tired of cooking. How about the moving plans, painting when you get in your office packed up? I'm probably going to pack office this weekend. So shelves will if I actually do what I'm supposed to do, shelves will be empty for the show on Monday. So you'll see just emptiness behind me. I may start moving furniture. I guess we got some empty spots in the living room. I guess I can kind of fill the living room for a few days and start moving stuff down there. My best friend's going to come out for that first week of April and help me do the painting and cleaning and repairs. There's a sink that's got a little drip leak. So we got to fix that, stuff like that. So, he'll be nice, and I'll get a U-Haul and he'll help me move everything. So yeah, that's where we are. So again, remember, first week of April, I may not be able to do a show unless stuff goes so hog wild that I'm like, oh, I have to do something. I will find internet somewhere, and we'll get a show done, at least on the phone or something with a laptop, and we'll do it that way. Avocado's tired and feel like a retread also. That happens. Fred Jones, Houston. Do you know anything about finger motion or finger? They were having lots of volatility, a year and a half ago, when they were having these weird little pushes every month. They'll go down to $2 and back up to $4, down to $2. So if you were playing options up and down on them, you could probably have made some good money. I know that they're one of those folks that have been lent money by lend partners and have had issues as a result of that, trying to force them into a debt spiral. But they seem to be making money, if I remember correctly. FNGR. It's $1.56 right now. Net income. Well, I guess the net income is down. It's still losing money. They're down 3 cents a share, but everything's green. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Dang it, Chrome. There we go. All right. So net profit margin is almost negative 20%, but everything's on the upswing from quarter to quarter. About 2 years ago, this is when they're having their ups and downs. They were just up and downing a lot every month, and you'd have an opportunity to buy in and buy out. But yeah, they got lent a bunch of money by Lynn Partners. Lynn Partners trying to get them into a debt spiral, trying to force them to do like their reverse splits and things like that. But they managed to sort of stave that off for now. See, they're at 66 cents in September 2023, and now they're at a newish low, buck something, buck 27, buck 18. Yeah, I don't know. They got some like rich Chinese guys or something behind them. That's all I know. Avocados, you won't believe this, but we moved into a place that had nicotine-stained styrofoam ceiling tiles. I was so disgusted, it took a rental carpet cleaner and rained nicotine on us. Gross. If you spray them, be sure to use something like Kills or Zinsser Bullseye. Kills or Zinsser Kills? K-I-L-Z? Kills Primer. Mold and mildew gallon primer. Okay, that's a good idea. Mold and mildew resistant primer. Word. So, okay. Or Zinsser Bullseye. Zinsser Bullseye. Here we go. 1, 2, 3 primer. Zinsser Bullseye. Whew. Whew. Damn. $200 for a gallon of primer? Holy shit. Okay, that's a lot of money. Oh no, this one's only $30. Why is this one $200? Is it the 5-gallon can, but they're just showing a 1 gallon? Is that what's happening? Huh. Noted. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do a roller because the tiles are have little designs in them, so it's gonna have to be a spray on them. So yeah, load up on primers. Noted. Thank you, avocados. BW brand, smoking gets into everything. Best to seal it under impermeable layer or strip it all out. Yeah, I think the cheapest option is going to be sealing it under a permanent layer, and just shampoo the carpet 10 more times until gross stuff stops coming out of it. The minute I dump the thing and it's no longer inky black, then I'll know I finally cleaned that carpet. But I've done it 3 times and it's still just as gross coming out as it was before. So I don't want to pay for new carpet. How much is carpet anyway? Carpet per square foot. $20 a square foot for Grooveway 12 foot. No, okay. Stainmaster, $1.96 per square foot. Okay, that might. If I do it myself. Soft gray, cheek 55-ounce square yard polyester texture indoor. And these ones are. Is this per yard? This might be per yard, maybe. Square yard, $30 a square yard. That one. 12 foot, cut in a length, 16 ounces, $8.52. Maybe a carpet pad. Carpet pad. Half-inch thick, 8-pound density, carpet cushion. Maybe recarpeting that room. I just stop spraying it and just recarpet the fucker. I don't know. We'll find out. If I make some good money off GME this week, maybe I won't care. Fuck it, just $2,000. We'll just do that, and that'll be that. Yeah. What GME calls you sitting on? I've got 25s. 25s for next week, playing weeklies. They're up already, up 38% since I bought in the morning. So I bought it exactly $1, and they're $1.38 at close. And they'll be even more than that because they actually went to $25.50 after hours. So if we open over 25, I expect it to be $1.80, more than that. So up 80% in one day, technically, not too shabby. Down to Shadem. Oh, Julie says, just walk into a painter's class. Yes. Does you Shadem, do you think if Trump ordered military to attack American citizens, college protesters, they'd obey? Is the military on his side? Here's the problem, is that I think a lot of the military is on our side and would be horrified by that, especially officer class. They go through schooling about what's right and wrong, and philosophy courses and ethics courses, and they do a lot of this is what it means to be a soldier. And they have to go through a lot of like, you know, don't end up like Nuremberg, obey illegal orders. Or sorry, disobey illegal orders. The problem is that you have cluster B personalities strewn throughout every leadership system on Earth. And Trump is actively trying to find those sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissists who have a leadership position and trying to promote them to the top so that their own megalomania, etc., and disgusting impulses will be fulfilled by obeying such an illegal order. So I think most of the military would say, no, I'm not going to do that. But Trump is going to find the members who would do that. And that's my fear. That's my fear there, Don. Boris Raspy, GME next $1 trillion company. That's what Sultan Omar is saying. So he's saying, GME the moon. Jay Guys says drywall over it if necessary. That's what my dad said. He said, you know, if you can find the rafters in that room, you can just put drywall over those tiles and be done with it there. Yeah, not so bad. You know, lower the ceiling height by another ½ inch or so. It's not the highest ceilings in the world, but at least it wouldn't have that gross shit in it. So, yeah, that's probably... Yeah, good point. Good point. Oh, it's 4:30. Folks, I'm going to see you later. I'll see you on Monday. Probably, hopefully, if I've done my job, there'll be an empty room behind me. See you on Monday. Or it's empty shelves, at least. So you enjoy your weekend. Rah, shish goomba. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Ready? And bam. Welcome here in Florida. Just Florida.